everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Quick Strike. As always, my name is Jake Ricker, alongside my co-host Michael Wax. Michael, the Tampa Bay Lightning have defeated the Florida Panthers by a score of 6-1 today, evening up the series at 1-1. A lot of positives to talk about today as the Lightning played probably one of their best games of the season. Even, how you doing today?
I am doing great. We have a lot of positives to talk about, like you mentioned already. A couple of players getting off the schneid, a couple of players, one player in particular, doing well and getting their first NHL goal. But again, we will talk about that as the video progresses. But overall, can't complain.
Absolutely can. It's going to be hard to even find one negative from this game. But let's start off with some of the players that really stood up and shined in this game. And I think the first person we need to talk about is Tyler Johnson. We have been tough on him this season. A lot of people have been very tough on him this season as he has not been able to have very much success. But man, today did he show up in a big way. He played great, was very aggressive, had 2 goals in this game. This is the Tyler Johnson we remember of old. And hopefully, now that he's got these 2 goals, he's got his confidence back and can continue to succeed because the way he played tonight was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and I think this was a tale of two Tyler Johnsons. We saw in the first period how he missed two wide open nets, and a lot of people thought that he was incapable of stepping up because that is what he had to do with the Sorelli and the Stamkos injuries and the fact that Stevens has been out of the lineup for so long. They were like, well, Tyler Johnson's your time to step up. And in the first period, it didn't look like he was ready, and then he came out in the second period and looked like a completely different beast. That first goal that he scored, the 3-0 goal, that one, more credit to Jamel Smith, I think. It was a beautiful shot from Tyler Johnson, but it was a great play along the wall by Jamel Smith. He had a fantastic game. We'll get to him later. But, that is a play where I am more happy with the play of Smith than I am with Johnson. The second goal was all Tyler Johnson. He got that rebound. He was very much in the dirty areas. Everybody was trying to get the puck, whether it was Barclay Goodrow, Andre Palat, or Tyler Johnson. All three of them were in the dirty areas trying to get that goal, and it ended up being Johnson. That's the type of play that I really want to see out of Tyler Johnson. Be a nagging net front presence like he used to be. The wrist shot is still there. We saw that in the first goal. But if he can still maintain that wrist shot power, that slap shot power that he has, that ability that he has with his shots, but still be a really, really messed up net front presence, I think that'll serve the Lightning really well.
And you mentioned Jamel Smith, who really did have a fantastic game. Let's talk about him. He obviously comes in after we have had now multiple Bolts players go down to injury, specifically Anthony Sorelli, who is out week to week as of right now, this recording. But Jamel Smith stepped up in a very big way. We talked about how these younger guys are going to get these opportunities eventually and are going to take advantage of it. Jamel Smith did just that. He was only had 2 assists. He didn't score any goals and wasn't on the score sheet in that way, but he created so many other opportunities and just his hustle out there, the way he got in the gritty. He almost got into a fight too with Keith Yandel. He was ready to drop the gloves, but Keith Yandel did not want any part of Jamel Smith. So, I mean, he really did play a great day. He really did play a great game today. He stepped up in almost every way, again, creating chances, being physical. He really fit in really well with this Lightning team.
Yeah, I have never seen somebody use 9 minutes and 20 seconds of ice time the way that Jamel Smith was able to today, especially considering all of the injuries to the key playmakers. I mentioned in another conversation I was having that Jamel Smith was one of the two true centers the Lightning had. The third line, they change out their center every now and again. The second line no longer has Anthony Sorelli. And the first line has Braden Point. So I'll start with the bad on Jamel Smith's day. He was only 25% of the faceoff dot. That is a concerning number no matter how you put it. Like I would like him to be a little bit better, but otherwise he was fantastic. He was creating chances, he was making sure that the puck stayed in the offensive zone, which is something you don't normally see from the fourth line. Whatever line was on the ice for the Panthers that was matched up against Smith, that line for the Lightning dominated. And I think it helped Jamel Smith be acclimated to the lineup. He was playing with so many different people because it was 11 forwards. You know, he was playing with the likes of Barclay Goodrow and Blake Coleman at times, Pat Maroon. He was playing with Alexander Volkov, Matthew Joseph. There was a rotating cast of people that he was playing with, and I think that really helped his game. So a tremendous first game overall for Jamel Smith. Defensively, he's a fantastic forward as well. I'm very happy with how he did. I hope he's still in the lineup even after Steven Stamp comes back soon.
I think he definitely gets an opportunity to get some games in there. I mean, the way he played tonight, he showed that he deserves an opportunity if there is a slot available. But only time will tell, and we'll see how long these players are actually out for. Because a lot of it we don't know when some of these guys may return, like Steven Stamkos. But yeah, Michael, if we were going to continue to talk about all the players that had great games today, we would be here forever because so many guys had great games. I mean, Ryan McDonough, he wasn't on the score sheet, but he played a fantastic game today. Andre Palat was great. He had a beautiful rocket of a shot to score a goal tonight as well. He's continuing that red hot start to the season. So many guys, also Vasilevsky included. He has been absolutely fantastic. And Michael, I don't know if you know this, but he is one of the best goaltenders of all time when it comes to playing after a loss. It just seems like he is always able to shut things down and play some of his best hockey. Now, I would be really curious to know what his numbers are after losses for his entire career. Unfortunately, I don't have that, but I did take a look at his record and his numbers after a loss this season so far. Lightning have lost 3 games, but he is 2-1 on the season after a loss. And the one loss only came to Carolina, where he only lit up 1 goal. He has a 941 save percentage and only 5 goals allowed. So a fantastic job by Vasilevsky once again. I don't know what it is about him, but when he does not like to lose.
Yeah, he is a competitor, and I think we can say this for his entire career. One of my favorite Vasilevsky moments was the 2016 Eastern Conference Finals, where Ben Bishop goes down. You think, oh, the season's kind of lost. You know, we love Vasilevsky, but he's not the same. And he drags that series to a game 7. He basically dragged that team to 7 games. And unfortunately, they lost the series, but his seventh game, he was a brick wall. He only allowed 2 goals on 39 shots, which is just incredible. Most of which were high danger chances. But as you mentioned, this season in particular, he has turned it into an even better level. I think we saw a lot of that in the bubble last year, where he lost game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals and then turned in a gem in game 6. He lost game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals and then turned in a shutout in game 6. So I think we're seeing the continuation of the bubble dominance from Andre Vasilevsky. And I'm all here for it because, I love the big cat. He makes a ton of money, which you want him to live up to that contract. And so far, he's living up to that contract.
Oh, he definitely is. And I can't wait to see how he can get even better because it seems like every night he continues to amaze us all. But continuing on the positive train here, because there are just so many to talk about. Michael, I thought something that was really good for the Bolts tonight was their special teams, both on the power play and the penalty kill. They had some great opportunities on the power play, scored a couple of goals on the power play. Also, the penalty kill remained perfect tonight. So just a fantastic job by the special teams here. Something that we were a little worried about for a little reason, and a lot of credit to these guys too, because the Florida Panthers had the number one power play coming into tonight. They have a really good power play, so the fact that the penalty kill was able to shut them down so successfully speaks a lot to their special teams right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And considering that what we saw on Thursday, where the Panthers, I believe, scored 2 power play goals against the Lightning's penalty kill, to be able to come back and not allow a single power play goal was huge. And I think a lot of the momentum in the game turned when the Lightning were able to kill off that 4-minute double minor penalty against Victor Hedman. Or I think that was about 10 minutes into the game. Don't have the official time with us right now, but just a tremendous game all around. Like the power play was good. You know, it's nice to score at a 33% clip. They did fall silent in their final two power plays, which was a little concerning, but they got some chances, which was positive. And then the penalty kill was great. Barkley Goodrow and Blake Coleman continue to amaze me on the penalty kill. As good as their forechecking is, their penalty kill might be their greatest asset, and that's saying a lot considering how good they are defensively. So I'm very, very happy with how the special teams are doing. It seems like everybody's able to contribute, which is what you need when you're trying to win a Stanley Cup.
Let's move to the negative side of things because there are always negatives in these games. There's always positives in bad games, there's always negatives in good games. So Michael, if you had to pick at least one thing, what was something that you thought the Bolts could have improved on in this game?
Well, the number one thing is penalties, but I have a feeling you might want to talk about that too. So, uh, this thing I didn't really notice until after I had put out my tweets about the three ups, three downs. By the way, everybody go follow me on Twitter for those after every single game. But Alex Killorn had a terrible game. He was he had that really, really I think it was a poor hit in that first period where he got dinged for interference. A lot of people said it was a clean hit. I thought it was a late hit. It was very irresponsible. He kept on getting involved with the Florida Panthers when they were trying to stir stuff up when they were down by 4 or 5 goals. It just was not his best game. He was definitely missing Anthony Cirelli, I think. And where Tyler Johnson was able to step up in the absence of Anthony Cirelli, scoring 2 goals and being a really nice presence on the ice, Alex Killorn kind of was missing Anthony Cirelli, and that showed in his play.
I think he's also just very probably frustrated as well. We talked about guys like Johnson, for example, who had struggles to the start of the season. Killorn's in that same kind of boat. He hasn't had the greatest start to the season, and it may be getting in his head a little bit. So hopefully he can get a goal. He almost had one tonight, but was just off. You could tell he was frustrated that he missed the shot too. But hopefully he can get something going and get a little confidence back and start to turn things around. But you're right, Killorn did not have his best game tonight by far. You mentioned before we started recording Luke Shen. He was another one that did not have a great game. It just seems like he's kind of, that seventh D man. There's so many talented defensemen. Cal Foot, he didn't, make a huge impact in the game today, but played all right. Had a couple of very nice slap shots. He's got such a powerful shot that you just want to see this kid continue and hopefully continue to develop. But Luke Shen has continued to struggle as well. And then I think, as you mentioned, the penalties. It wasn't too bad tonight. There were a total of 4 penalties, technically 3, because one of them was a double minor on Hedman. Hedman kind of just lifted his stick around and happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But you do have to be aware of your surroundings, and you can't just be throwing your stick over, willy nilly, because that's what happened. You hit a guy in the face. Next thing you know, you're down on a double minor. Luckily, the Bolts kill it off, and it did give them a lot of momentum. But I would still like to see a little bit better effort from them and not taking too many penalties. Michael, we're going back because I want to end this on a positive note. One of the last things I want to mention for the Bolts is we've talked about this season how the schedule is very different. You're playing teams multiple times in a row. You're playing every team basically 2 nights in a row, sometimes 3. We're going to be playing the Florida Panthers on Monday night once again. But when you lose that first game, or if you win that first game, it's going to be harder for the team that won that first game, because now your opponents know, hey, this team came to play. This is how they're going to play us. Let's get back out there and let's get them. And that they're all division games as well, so that's another element right on there as well. So we knew these games are going to be like that this season, and the Lightning were able to do such a good job of responding. Great teams find good ways to respond after bad losses. And that's what the Lightning did. They did not have a good game against the Panthers last time. They had a very bad first and second period. They did have a good third period, though, and they built off that. They came out and I thought played a great full 60 minutes tonight. They looked very good. I loved what I saw from them. If they can continue to do that, they're going to have a great season because bad games are going to happen. But the fact that they were able to respond this well in such dominating fashion is a lot of good signs for the Bolts. But don't be fooled. Game number 3 against the Florida Panthers is going to be another tough game.
Absolutely. And, we gave full credit to the Florida Panthers in game number one. They were the better team. They were fantastic when it came to keeping the puck in the offensive zone, making sure that the Lightning got zero chances and sustained pressure. And it looked like that was actually going to happen in this second game as well, in the first period at least. You and I had a bit of a disagreement. You thought that they had a much better period, and I agreed, but in terms of sustained offensive pressure and sustained offensive chances, it was very much like the first game. It was a lot of rush chances, which was really nice to see. But the Lightning weren't quite where they normally are. That changed in the entirety of the rest of the game, the second and the third period. Full credit to them. Again, the Tampa Bay Lightning, they were able to make sure that they bounced back after that loss. And you mentioned that good teams will find a way, great teams will find a way to get through those bad losses and turn them into wins the next time around. This was the first time that the Lightning were coming off of a loss at the beginning of the series, and I know that doesn't make a lot of sense when I say it like that, but to reiterate, the first game of the little 2 or 3 game series, the Lightning have won every single one of them except for two. The game against Carolina, where they won 1-0, they didn't play them again. And the game against Florida, where they just lost, I believe that was 5-2, and they came back and they won 6-1. So, really, really solid effort by them. I am interested to see how they're going to play against Carolina now, because there is such a different break between games 2 and 3. But the Florida Panthers are a good team. And I think Tuesday or Monday, I apologize, is going to be a really, really big indicator to see where both teams are this season.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a fun series this whole season as well to continue to see where this battle goes. This was a really fun game to watch. I was covering today on Bay Bolts. It was a great game overall, and the Bolts played absolutely fantastic. So hopefully we continue to see that over this season. But Michael, before we wrap this up, do you have anything else to add?
No, a really solid game all around. I can't think of anything that was really a sore thumb that stuck out for the Lightning, other than the fact that they're in the penalty box way too much. But
And
other
we
than that, they're playing well.
And before we wrap this up, Michael, Alexander Volkov was able to grab his first NHL goal tonight, a huge accomplishment for him. It was a great job here on the 2-on-1, was able to tap the puck in, put himself in a perfect position to get that goal. So very good to see him get his first one and hopefully many more. He's been excellent for the Bolts, even though he's had very few opportunities.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit to begin the season. He had to get his feet underneath him. Hopefully, this is a confidence booster. We saw the same thing again with Braden Point and Matthew Joseph when they first scored. Carter Verhaeghe, who is not with the Lightning anymore, but similar situation where he scored and started scoring some more. Mitchell Stevens, all those guys, and I'm really happy for Volkov. It was a tremendous pass from Jamel Smith, really good play set up by Matthew Joseph as well. Just a really solid play all around. Congratulations to Alex Volkov for his first NHL goal. Hopefully, his first of many in a Tampa Bay Lightning uniform.
Absolutely. And we would love to hear from you guys as well. If you think we missed anything, because there were a lot of positives from this game, be sure to let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so you don't miss out on more content. We got a lot of things coming your way over the next couple of days. So, with that said, though,